The provocative. Yes. It's been a long day.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. I was going to record this earlier, but we were guests on another podcast, and it took a little bit longer than we thought. And
Pull the mic closer.
Okay. Hopefully it doesn't buck me. Is that better? We got stuck in traffic. We had to eat lunch, and I have a massive headache. But we're here because I really, really want to record a podcast episode for you guys. You know, we're on it. We're back in our game, so we got to do what we got to do. And your girl leaves to Georgia tomorrow, or we leave to Georgia. But first, before we get into our intro, let's welcome our guest today, the hubby. Hi, baby.
Hey, baby.
So he's going to be a guest for a little while. I kind of want to introduce him to the podcast and see how he does as a co-host.
I'm on a trial period.
You're in a trial period. Let me know, girls, if you guys like having him as a co-host or not. You're like, I don't care. I want to be on here.
Oh, you're saying me?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking like they wouldn't care.
No.
Shit, they gonna care.
Do you have to have those headphones on?
I don't have to, but like right now that your audio was away,
okay.
it let me know.
Okay.
I wouldn't know if it didn't,
Okay.
if I didn't have them on.
All right. Well, all right, let's do the intro. I ran 40 miles last week, and I am tired. I'm just real tired, guys. My legs are real tired. I ran 11 and a half miles yesterday, which is the longest I've ran, and nonstop. And I feel like I didn't foam roll yesterday after my run, which I was supposed to do, and I forgot. And now I'm paying for it because now my hip is really tight, and I have to make sure I foam roll because I have another run today. I basically feel like my life is literally like just running, but it is what it is. I love it. Do I love running this much mileage? No. But do I like running? I love running. So it is what it is. This is what we're doing for our training for our half marathon. So we got to do what we got to do. All right. Our book club finished Pretty Girls. What did you think? How well do you think I reacted to that book?
One word would be trauma. I didn't read a single page from this book, but I could tell you guys that it's traumatizing.
Yeah, I was so traumatized. My God, guys, I was just, it was sick. This book was sick. I think I was telling Rachel that I think it's because it's one of my fears, getting kidnapped. Abducted. And two, I think because of what I experienced when I was younger with domestic abuse. I think anytime abuse is...
And I think anyone that is of sane mind, reading what you read,
yeah, I guess,
would fuck you up a little bit.
It just fucked me up. It fucked me up
a
lot more.
Extreme. It's a very extreme scene, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like it's like that's really to the extreme of things that you could really think of. Honestly,
yeah.
Like how much worse could that get?
Yeah.
It really can't.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe. And I was also about to start my period, so I was just like, I finished this book and I was like sobbing to Chris. I was just so sad, guys, like in his chest crying because I was so sad. The book has a good ending in the sense of like, okay, like what you want it to happen happens, but I don't recommend it unless you really want to go down that road. And then just wanted to catch you guys up on a show we've just recently finished. We finished Queen's Gambit. You liked it. I liked it.
Yeah, it was a good show.
Mm-hmm. It was really good. We've never played chess. I feel like I want to, but I don't know if I want to actually take the time to learn everything.
Yeah, I don't want to take the time to learn all these defense and offensive moves. If I play, if I start picking it up, I would want to, but I know that I don't want to.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't want to put the amount of time that me, myself, would want to put into to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I just don't want to play it if it's not going to be that way.
Hi, Christian Pineda has to go all in or can't do anything. All right. So today's topic is going to be a little bit about my anxiety because first and foremost, I want to just say thank you to everyone for being so supportive on last week's episode. You guys are amazing, which I've already told you guys. I love the support that I get from you guys and everything, but you guys sent me a couple messages saying thank you, and I really, really appreciate it. I'm still getting messages to this day. So I just want to say thank you so much for the support. And so I wanted to bring Chris on as a guest because I wanted him to kind of give you guys a side view of how he deals with my anxiety as like a partner. So if you're a partner who you probably don't have anxiety, but your significant other does, it'll kind of give you a perspective on what Chris does to help me and vice versa, what I'm doing to help me with anxiety, because anxiety is, I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, I just have anxiety, and they take it like as such a small thing because it's been so commonly used. But people who actually suffer from anxiety, it really does take a toll on their life. It takes a toll on their relationship. And so I just kind of want to cover it. So I actually did a little bit of research first before we get into a little bit of personal I did a little bit of research before we get into like my personal side of anxiety. So what I researched was anxiety can negatively affect relationships in many different ways, including isolation from loved ones, communication issues, and dependence behaviors are all examples of way that anxiety affects relationships. People living with anxiety disorders may act one of two ways when it comes to relationships. So I'm going to read this both ways, and then you're going to tell me which one I am, which I already know you're going to know, but all right. Way number one, or type number one, is avoidance behaviors. People who are living with anxiety disorders may find it easier to disassociate with others than to deal with their relationships head on head. As a result of heightened anxiety, some signs and symptoms of avoidance in relationships include not picking up the phone, neglecting to go to social gatherings, and seeming to be unfeeling or uncaring. It means it. I think I meant to put. It doesn't mean that they don't know how to have meaningful relationship. I guess it means that they don't know how to have meaningful relationships while also juggling the weight of anxiety, and that they may even feel fear that their mental health issues may be too much for their loved ones to bear. So that's number one, is avoidance behavior. So someone who when they have high anxiety, they avoid talking to their partner. They don't pick up the phone. They neglect to go to social gatherings, and they may seem like they just don't care. Type number two is codependence behaviors. On the other side of avoidance is dependence. People who are living with anxiety disorders may completely rely on the people in their lives as they are dealing with the negative impacts of anxiety. Some of the signs and symptoms of codependent behaviors can include dread, dread and worry about loved one's death or bad things happening, overanalyzing anything a loved one does or says, needing continuous validation from others, and having an intense fear of rejection from others. Which one am I?
I don't know. None of those sound like you.
Are you being serious?
Obviously, it's the second one.
Yeah, that's why I laugh, guys. It's not funny, but dread and worry about loved one's death or bad things happening, guys. That is me on the money. As I was reading this yesterday, I was like, this is me. Overanalyzing anything a loved one does or says. Me, not just loved one, anyone, yeah, like friend, whatever, over analyzing everything. Needs continuous validation from others. I was like, me as myself, as I'm reading that, I'm like, I don't think I do need validation from others. Do you think I need validation from others?
I think yes, because you're the opposite of that. Like, if you aren't getting enough validation in terms of like your social media, it digs you enough. It puts you more into the hole. So it's not that you need more validation. It's that
when I don't get it,
when you don't get it, it puts you in the hole.
Agree. I agree. I agree with that. And I think like this is like very much me having intense fear. I don't think having an intense fear of rejection from others, because I don't really feel. Do you think so?
I mean, I think that's a issue you have, but I don't know if that's
really. What do you mean? I have an issue of being rejected.
Why have we not reached out to bigger people for the podcast? What's the main reason you always give me?
Guys, I'm being called out today. You're right. What the
But I don't
fuck?
know. I don't know if that's anxiety driven.
It is because I get anxiety. That's why I don't do it because I'm scared of getting rejected. You're right.
There you go.
I guess I was thinking
I'll send the invoice later.
you didn't find this out. I'm just wow. It's crazy because this is me and this is affecting my life, and it sucks because up until this point, I'm not really, you say anxiety and you're just like, okay, anxiety is a feeling, right? Like I'm anxious and I'm shaky or whatever, but you don't realize how deep anxiety goes. So for me, I'm the codependent. I am. And I think that's why sometimes when I am more anxious, I'm even more codependent, like I'm more dependent on you. I did get this information from www.yellowbrickprogram.com. They actually have like an anxiety program that you can do. I was reading a little bit into it. Not too much because I think they're based out in California. But if you want to check them out, you can. But I wanted to go over, well, you guys got a little bit of insight into what kind of anxious person I am. But also let's get into our relationship, Chris's anxiety versus mine. Do you feel like you suffer from any type of anxiety?
On a day-to-day basis, no. I think I have the regular amount. Well, I guess what's really the regular amount? I have a very minimal amount of anxiety when it comes just to like situations that most people would have anxiety.
Yeah.
And even then, I feel like I handle it pretty well in comparison to how other people handle it.
I know you're not a big social person, but right now that we were on the other podcast, do you feel like
I don't have social anxiety.
I was about to ask, do you think you
I
have
don't
social?
have social anxiety. I just don't like being in social situations. But if we are in one, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I was
I'm
about
not
to
gonna
say.
be
How
stressing.
did you know I was already going to ask you that? You already knew?
Because you said what?
Yeah. Yeah, because when we're in social situations, I don't
Like
feel
I'm
like
confident enough in who I am, and I don't really care what people think of me. So I'm not gonna pretend to be someone else.
Yeah.
Like I don't have social anxiety. I just don't like social situations.
You just don't like being around people you don't know.
I just burn out really fast.
Yeah, okay. I've had anxiety for as long as I can remember. Do you feel like it's gotten worse over the years?
Yes. I think as your responsibilities and just your day-to-day growing up and assuming new responsibilities, your anxiety has definitely gotten worse.
I agree. I definitely think I've always had anxiety, but in the last, I would say, 3 to 5 years, my anxiety has definitely gotten up. Yeah, because I mean, the more responsibilities I have, the more load I have, and it's not even so much the load. I think it's just the responsibilities, and I know what it. Like I know, like our relationship. I have to be financially okay for us, for our families, for other things. So like I know there's like other people who are dependent on me, so that makes me a little bit anxious. There's a lot of things that make me anxious, and then obviously like not feeling like what the fear of like what if I can't handle it all? What if I can't handle it all? But I do think that over the years it's gotten a little bit worse, guys. Are there any triggers that you watch out that let you know that I'm anxious? Like before I even tell you I'm anxious?
Or before, like, how can I identify before you get anxious?
Yeah.
Not before, no. There's things you do that I know.
No, is there things that I do that let you know that I'm anxious?
Yeah, you scratch your head. You do this. I mean, like just your overall character just changes a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's just, I know what regular Jasmine looks like, and I know what stressed out Jasmine looks like.
I forgot about I put tapping on foot because I tap a lot when I'm anxious, and then like my breathing, you can tell that I'm anxious when I take like a lot of deep breaths. I forgot about this. Yeah, guys, I usually have like a mini bald spot when I get really bad in the middle of my head, and it gets raw right here, and because I scratch at it without like knowing that I scratch at it. There was a while that I was pulling out my eyebrow hairs. Remember that at the apartment? I think too, he knows when I'm really anxious. When I'm like, I think when I'm at my extremist is I'll have to like sit next to him, and for some reason, I don't know where I got this, that I have to have his hand on my chest.
I mean, I just did it. Like,
I think
I just did it to do it one day, and you just came to realize that it made you feel better.
Yeah, it made me feel safe.
Yeah, and I mean, in the car is sometimes when I could tell you're anxious too, like if you're just like dead. Like you're usually not just like still in the car. It's rare when you're just chilling in the car. You're always doing something. You're either on your phone or you're jamming out to music. But if you're just still, I'm always like, what are you thinking?
Or he'll like you'll randomly
Yeah,
go
I'll
over.
just randomly just go ahead and do it.
Yeah, and it makes me feel better. He knows. It's funny, guys, because I don't know why I keep thinking about Fendi. You guys know we have Hermes and Fendi, and they're the exact representation of us. So Fendi has severe anxiety too.
And bald spots.
Oh, thanks. And she's allergic to everything. She has stomach issues like her mom. But she loves to get her chest scratched. Like she loves to have my hand on her chest. And as I'm doing this yesterday, she was sitting next to me and I had my hand on her chest and I was like, damn, she was born to be like me.
Yeah, Hermes likes to get his balls rubbed. So
You're so crazy. Would you say that it is difficult for you as a partner to understand me or to understand someone who has anxiety?
I think it's probably really difficult for me because I am on the complete extreme of that. Like I have very little emotions. Like there's almost nothing that makes me emotional. So to try to understand what it is that you're feeling and how much it affects your day to day is so hard for me to understand. Mm-hmm. As opposed to maybe he's a guy that was a little bit more in touch with his feelings. I feel like maybe it'd be a little bit more compassionate. But I've never had a day to be dictated by the way that I feel.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so hard for me to understand. And I try my best, you know, I hear you out. I try imagining what it would be like, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know what that feels like. And I can't even like not even a fourth of what you feel is probably
no
yeah
even.
Like
it's crazy that you said that because we've been together we just celebrated our 13 years together. Anniversary, yeah, 13 years together. And your day has never been dictated by your feelings. That is crazy to me. Like, and it's true. Like that's one of the things that like I think I'm envious of you, that you could be feeling like shit when you're not going to let it affect you. Like you literally do not let your emotions affect your day. And for me, my emotions overwhelm me so much that they dictate my day. Like insanely. It's crazy. You do a lot of things that help. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those. So right here it says, what are some things that can help? So like if you're the partner, what are some things that can help? And if you are the person that has anxiety, these are some things that you can maybe talk to your partner about doing to help you. So the first one, don't minimize your partner's feelings. So try to really listen and ask how you can help them. And I think you do a really good job with that. You're never like, oh, you're sending excuses for your anxiety, or you've never made me feel bad about the way that I feel. I know that you do a really good job of like really trying. Sometimes you don't listen to me all the time, but you do your best to listen. Would you not say?
Yeah, I mean, I always try doing my best.
Okay.
My best is just different every day.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Number 2, I put make a list of things that give you anxiety and share them with your partner. That way they know what your triggers are and can help you. So, for instance, Chris knows exactly like who gives me more anxiety versus who doesn't give me anxiety. So, he's very good at helping me with that. Or if I tell him like this person gives me anxiety, don't leave me in the room with them too long, or this gives me anxiety, can you help me out? Like I usually am pretty good at communicating with him what triggers me and what gives me anxiety, and he does a really good job on helping me with them. I'm trying to think of like a specific incident. I
mean, just like if I know you're already stressed out or anxious about your day, I try taking away as many things off your plate as I can, whether it be, you know, doing laundry, doing the dishes that are in the sink, which are things that you typically do, but I just go ahead and take them off for you, so that's something less you have to worry about and focus on the things that only you could do.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes that helps.
It helps a lot. Yeah. Doing things like that.
I always help around the house. It's just...
No, yeah, Chris always helps around the house. I mean, if you've listened to a podcast before, you know, I praise my husband because my husband is amazing. But if you're new, welcome. He is an amazing husband in the sense of he helps me around the house all the time. And we were just talking about this. Like he does. That's one of the things I love about him. If he sees that I'm in the kitchen, he doesn't just go off to the room and game. He'll be like, "Hey babe, what more do you need done at the house in the house so I can help you so we can tackle it together and then you can when I'm resting, you're resting. I don't want to be resting while you're still working and worrying about things around the house." So I appreciate that and I love that about him because it really takes off stuff off my plate. So that was a great example. Also, number 3, I put help your partner seek treatment and participate when you can. So he helps me think logically. I know there's times where I'm like anxious about something or I know something's about to make me anxious. And before I allow it to make me anxious, I'll ask him about his like, what do you think about this? And his answer is always like what I'm thinking logically, but is always covered by my emotions. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like sometimes when I ask you things like in the car, it's because I'm already thinking about it and I'm like, oh my God, I know this is going to make me anxious, but let me ask him what he thinks because more often than not, like I'm already thinking like deep inside, I'm thinking what you're going to say, but it doesn't surface until you say it. So that really, really helps me. It makes me feel like I like beat my emotions, which.
Well, it's kind of like, yeah, you're thinking logically, but you're also thinking emotionally. So when I reaffirm the logical side of your thoughts, you're like, okay, maybe that one's the more likely one.
Yeah. That, I also just told him, you know, with therapy, like I said, there's things that your partner might be able to participate in. So something that my therapist told me to ask myself when I do feel nervous or anxious, is asking myself, is there evidence that proves this is true? So I just asked him the other day, I was like, hey, going forward, when I'm anxious about something, I need you to ask me that. Is there evidence that proves this is true? Because sometimes I forget because I have so many things I'm worrying about. I'm already anxious, so that thought doesn't come to mind. But if he asked me that, then it's going to start becoming a routine to where I'm just going to start asking myself that question before I ask him because I don't want him to ask me because I'm going to be like, okay, here we go again. He's going to ask me the same question. So it kind of helps you automatically ask yourself that question because your partner has practiced it on you. So that really helps. So we haven't done that yet.
You haven't been that anxious since.
Yeah, thankfully. So that really, really helps. And, you know, we already feel a lot of guilt that anxiety affects our day to day. I feel like a lot of guilt that it affects my relationship sometimes. So just being vulnerable with your partner will really help and will really help you like them see you in a different perspective. And guys, in any relationship, I just think vulnerability is so important. And I know you agree with it too. Like there's no reason why we need to act tough or act like you don't care about something if you care about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I mean, you'll have more respect for your partner if they get to see you in all your lows and your highs.
Yeah.
You'll appreciate and be more understanding of like the good moments when you could compare them to the low moments. I think.
Yeah, and I think like being vulnerable. And when I say this, I'm like picturing it. Don't be vulnerable over text message. Text message sucks. Over the phone can work, but like be vulnerable in person. Like don't be some psychotic and be like, oh my God, you don't understand me. That's not vulnerability, right? Vulnerability is coming from a place of understanding and being like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Can we go sit down and talk about the way that I'm feeling and actually like have a deep conversation with that person? That's being vulnerable, not being dramatic or you don't understand me or coming from a point of trying to attack the other person from not understanding you. It's coming from a place, like I said, vulnerability and, hey, I want you to be able to understand me and I want to be able to not be anxious all the time and let this anxiety affect me. So, you know, I literally just told him that last week. I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry because my anxiety was really bad. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I hate that my anxiety sometimes affects our relationship. And I don't think he said anything, but I was just being, he wasn't like, it's okay, babe. Like it was more of like this understanding of like, we're going to be okay. Like, I think you did say, I don't. Yeah,
I was like, I thought I said something.
Yeah, you did. You were like,
say I did it, then I guess I did it.
No. You did say, I don't I don't, because let me start over. When I was telling him, I'm like, I do feel guilty. I feel like I make your life sometimes a little bit more harder. And sometimes like, I feel like your life would be different if you weren't with someone who had severe anxiety. And he was like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I want to be with you and I want to help you through it. So even sometimes maybe you might be the person that's feeling guilty, and because of that you're kind of pulling back from your partner instead of being like, hey, I feel guilty about it and I hate that I, like, we shouldn't feel guilty about it, but there is guilt to it, right? Because anxiety does make our relationship harder, but saying that to that person may make them be like, oh damn, like she really doesn't want to feel this way and she's trying to work on it, or he or she, I'm just saying she, in my case, and can help you in that way. So I did write a few things that will help you beat anxiety, because my therapist did say this the other day, because I was like, am I crazy? I told my therapist, am I bipolar? Like, because sometimes I'm like, I don't think I'm crazy, like bad, but like sometimes I'm just like, how can I flip so quickly?
I mean, it's also because you're Latina, so there's a lot of variables going on here.
You really think that?
I feel like Latina women in general flip super quick, yeah. And then add anxiety in there, makes it a little worse.
Makes it a little worse. Latina women already Chile. And then you got anxiety.
That's two chiles.
That's two chiles. When I would make it 3 chiles.
Anxiety?
No, wait, what'd you say? Women?
I said women, that's one chile. Latina women, 2 chiles. And then 3 chiles is fucking anxiety, Latina women.
Schizo, 5 chiles.
Yeah, that's the XXX warning, sign a waiver kind of shit.
But yeah, anxiety, I was like, am I normal? Like, is this normal? And she's like, it's absolutely normal. Anxiety, she called it, which I really like. She's like, anxiety is a liar. She was like, do not listen to your anxiety, because it will make you believe things that aren't true about yourself, that aren't true about your partner. That's why is there evidence that proves that this is true is really good, because if I'm ever like even, for example, oh my God, Chris is gonna go to a strip club, and I know he's never gonna go, like he's not gonna go to a strip club. I could ask myself, is there evidence that proves that Chris will probably go to a strip club? And the answer for me is no, there's no evidence. He's never been to one. He's never been interested. So it just like, I know that was like a dumb one, but like, that's like one of them. You ask that question and then you think, is there evidence behind this? Now if I'm like, okay, Chris may be talking to this girl in the gym and he's cheated on me before. Then if I ask myself, is there evidence that this could be true?
This is a made-up scenario.
Yeah, this is a made-up scenario. I was gonna put that TikTok clip. People would be like, Chris May cheated on Jazzy Fit, all on Reddit. But you guys get my point. Anyways, I really it was really good to hear her say that, because it made me feel like, wow, okay, I am normal, in the sense of people who suffer anxiety all suffer it, just like this. So anyways, this is a few things you can do. Beat it by journaling and going back and reading your affirmations when you need them. I was just talking to him about this. So writing your affirmations, having them on your phone, even starting your day with a few affirmations is great. Affirmations could be like anything that you believe in for yourself, but also for your relationship. If you're someone that has anxiety and has anxiety with their relationships, then write down things like, what are... and you guys could do it together. Like, what are your strongest suits as a relationship? So you could be like, my partner loves me and he shows me by this. We enjoy doing this and we spend a lot of quality time together. Whatever it is, right? You write it down and you keep it. So those are your affirmations. So anytime your anxious mind comes and wants to fucking fuck with you, you're like, nah. I may be thinking that, let me read my affirmations, because I know I wrote this when I was logical and not emotional, and it'll at least bring you down a little bit. Doing physical activity is also great. My therapist is like, well, whenever you're feeling really anxious and you can't go run outside or go work out, do 100 jumping jacks. So if you ever see me just randomly doing 100 jumping jacks, she says that kind of helps release that initial anxiety. She's like, obviously not everyone does this, but you are a type of person who releases your anxiety through physical activity. So that could help. Also spending time in nature, it really grounds you. So like I love nature. So spending time outside, like go with your pets when the sun is low, go on a hike, doing things that are going to ground you back to earth is also very important. At least for me. Do you ever feel that way?
Like
with nature?
Grounds me.
Do you like,
I hate being outside.
Is it because of the heat?
Yeah, it's just uncomfortable being outside. And I mean, I guess it's also I guess it's kind of like a little bit of trauma for me. Like just being outside reminds me of work, like doing yard work, doing track, during cross country. Like it's just sweat and working hard is what I attribute to being outside.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, this was like a therapy session too. Yeah, because you don't like going outside.
Yeah, I just hate being outside.
And for me, it's not that. Because I was never really like good at sports and shit. I love being outside. All right, that was number 3. Number 4 was praying or meditating, whatever you feel. Everyone's been meditating a lot. I can't commit. I haven't committed to meditating. I told Chris, the best place for me to meditate sometimes is in the morning because I feel like I need to lay down. So if I meditate with a song or with something like a YouTube video, I have to do it where Chris is like, because he still sleeps once I get up. He wakes up like either 30 to an hour after I do. So I have to go to my bedroom closet. Yeah. And the light is really bright in the morning. But if I sit there in the dark, I start getting scary thoughts. Like, oh my God, someone's going to grab me right now. Oh my God, I'm in here. Something else is in here with me. And so it starts freaking me out. So I can't meditate. But I do want to try meditating. I know it helps a lot, just relax the mind. But I haven't yet. I have been praying more though. Taking a bath. This was not for everyone. I don't personally love baths. It's not my thing. But I know people who enjoy them and take them daily. That could be a way for you to release anxiety, take an Epsom salt bath. And lastly, spending time with people that make you laugh. I like spending time with you. You make me laugh sometimes. Who else? Aurelie, Mia. Anytime I see Mia, she's just like, anxiety is like, done. I don't give a fuck. When I'm with Mia, or if Aurelie's like, hey, come, like the other day I was running outside of her gym in her neighborhood, and I was going to go back to the gym to work out. I ran 6 miles, and I was going to go to work out. And then she was like, hey, she calls me, and I still had like a mile left. She's like, I'm going to be right here at the water park with Mia. Do you want to come by? I was like, fuck working out. I'm going to go see Mia play with the water. And it was the best thing ever. Like, did I feel guilty not working out? No. Like, I was like, it's okay. If I don't work out, I don't work out. I just ran fucking 6 miles. But 2, like, oh man, I appreciate those moments so much. Just watching her little butt get wet. And then she wanted to be with the big girls. And then she wanted me to take her up and down the slide. It was just so cute. It's those moments that like, just, you're not thinking about anything else but just her, right? And I'm so excited because we get to see my Kylie Wiley in 2 days, because tomorrow we go to Georgia. And yeah, so spending time with people that make you laugh, that you love, that make you feel good is so important to beat anxiety. But guys, anxiety is obviously something common. We all have different levels of it, but it's not something to be ashamed of. It's just something that, to work on too, because please do not let anxiety take over your life and set it as an excuse. I don't think I've ever used it as an excuse. I hate having it, but I've always tried to do a little bit better. I've worked at it. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I mean, you continue to work at it.
I continue to work at it.
I mean, I think there are times where you let it cripple you, and I help you get out of that.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be helped at that moment in time.
At that moment in time. Yeah, I mean, it's because it's hard. I think my anxiety, if there was a level.
But then that's also depression, though. That's not just anxiety.
Yeah, that's like a crippling depression and anxiety where I literally, what did I tell you? I feel like I'm like a scary fucking those girls like in scary movies are like like that. I feel crippled like that. I just want to like go back in like in a shell or something. Like that's how I feel, like overwhelmed with anxiety, and it's hard, but I do my best and we got to make it work. I got to find tools, which I have, right? This is why I think it was so important for me to take the social media break and to seek help with therapy, because it is super important now going into this new project for me to be able to handle anxiety, because honey, I think the anxiety is only going to get worse. So anyways, thank you for being on the podcast.
Of course.
Is there anything else you want to share about anxiety and how you can help?
No.
Just be there?
Yep.
Okay. Do you like being my guest on the podcast?
I don't mind it. We'll be here as long as you could keep me talking.
Yeah, he's kind of quiet, guys. If there's anything you guys want to hear from him, let me know. Let me know. But yeah, guys, we're going away for a few days, but we'll be back for an episode for next week. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. I love you guys again. Thank you so much for the support. Share it on your platforms, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.